Hello and welcome to the Storyboard special celebrating 10 years of money control and the dream decade on CNBC TV18. I am Anuradha Sengupta. If there was one medium that was recognized as the medium of the future during this decade, it was the internet. Over this week and the next, I'll be getting you perspectives from digital agencies, media buyers and advertisers to get a sense of how brands have leveraged this medium and to find out what more they can all do to use the medium optimally. Zenith Optimedia, meanwhile, just recently forecast that internet advertising in India will grow at 16%, and that's faster than all other media in the year 2011 to 2012. Remember, currently some 3% of total ad spend goes to digital media. That's roughly between 5 to 700 crore rupees. On this show, I'm talking to Shashi Sinha, CEO of Lodestar Universal, Prashant Mohanachandran from Neo at Ogilvy, Ajay Kakkar of the Aditya Birla Group Financial Services, and Carl Gomes, a creative director specializing in the digital media. I began by asking all of them to rate on a scale of 1 to 10 how effectively Indian advertisers were using the internet. Here's what they had to say, and let me tell you, it's not very promising. So Carl, you go first.
I'll say 2.
2. Ajay?
2.
2.
4.
That's optimistic. Glass half full, clearly. He looks at the world with a glass half full view.
It's really bad, but in the spirit of things, I'd say 2.
What proportion of your, media buying budgets for your clients do you see going online?
Digital advertising, and I'm not including search, will be 3 to 4% of total spend. So that's what, on an average, most clients do. I'm not talking about certain categories which are technology or financial, where maybe slightly higher. But most categories would be in that range, and percentages and amounts are misleading because they're just absolute numbers. The truth of the matter is Indian media is under-leveraged and digital is under-leveraged even more. So that reflects.
Okay. Prashant, how much of your business, how many of your clients are clients who come to you directly, and how much from Ogilvy, the mother agency?
70% are clients exclusive to Neo at Ogilvy. They are digital-only clients. If I could use that word, digital-only. And 30%, I would say are those progressive clients, in the classic sense, 360 clients, but agency clients.
Ajay, your company, you represent, brands ranging from the life insurance space to mutual funds to stockbroking to a whole bunch of financial activities. Where do you see the role for online media in your media mix?
As an advertiser, I would like to follow my audiences. And television today gives me the flexibility. It gives me the flexibility of numbers if I want to reach out, the markets I want to reach out. It's a visually literate medium. And I can reach out to mass India and I can focus wherever I want. When it comes to the internet, question I ask myself very often is, why do we yet call it new media?
Exactly.
And if we call it new media, some of the reasons that come to my mind is, I will evaluate it by the percentage of my target audience that I can reach out to. And in financial services, while they believe it is high, remember the propensity to spend is with a relatively, 30s plus audience. And what is therefore the percentage of spends that I put on this medium? The answer to both of them, regrettably, is relatively low. One of the reasons could be that some of the head of marketings are in their 40s.
I'm glad you brought it up, I'm glad you brought it up because I was going to get into that. Is age an issue? Because you work now at several agencies to put up digital units or arms, okay? Is what Ajay said an issue?
I think it's more about responsibility because frankly a brand is driven by the brand manager, okay, and then the partner at the agency. It's about these two people who actually drive the brand along with the creative team, along with a lot of people along. So if these guys take on responsibility of understanding a target audience, frankly I think, like what Ajay said, follow your consumer. If his consumption habits are changing, you change accordingly. If he is saying stuff about you, you can very well go online. You can use the new media to understand what he's saying. So you can have an interactive conversation. So a lot of brands are doing that today. A lot of brands, like for example, the Pink Chaddi campaign, showed a lot of brands how efficient new media can be, but for certain problems. So it's basically, I think, who are you talking to and what do you want to tell them? Possibilities.
So you're saying age is not, it's not that there is, all these decision makers at the client's end or at the media buyer's end or at the advertiser's end happens to, be of a certain batch. I won't even say generation, I'll say batch.
No, frankly, age, yeah, that would put you on a back foot when it comes to technology. But today, really, you don't really have crazy technology geeks who are actually doing Twitter. You have simple people who understand how to write in 140 characters. Okay, there are normal people out there, and today brand managers, today advertising guys are on Twitter.
Shashi Tharoor is easily 50 plus.
So, Radha, I think there are many things that a marketer wants to look at, but the bottom line is he's not suicidal. And if he's yet not spending, there must be some reason. Some of the reasons could be attributed to his lack of awareness.
Okay.
And the other set of reasons could be his lack of conviction. Either way, I believe that there's a easy task, if you believe, or a difficult task for the industry to come and convince the marketers that this is where your audience is and this is how you can reach them, ... better than how you're doing so today. And I think that has not happened as yet. That concept sale has not happened as yet, and therefore, yes, predominance of my budgets is in mass media. Mass media allows me that flexibility I spoke about, and I believe I'm doing a great job.
Prashant, what is the point he's missing?
He's missing the biggest trick in the book. When we talk about, I'm just looking at something behind me, Money Control, 10 years, India's #1 financial portal. Today the financial business is online. Mutual funds, the largest buying actually, even incidentally, is actually happening online, especially among the new crop of mutual fund buyers, not the old crop. The part of trading, if you look at everybody from an angel broking to a Prabhudas Lilladher, they've gone online because the cost of servicing people is cheaper online. And I'm just failing to understand where Ajay comes from because...
Simple answer. If you look at niche players whose budgets are relatively low, traditionally they only looked at BTL, right? So today they're looking at the internet. If you look at the larger players, as I said, to me the barometer is there in front of you and for you to measure and give a tick or a cross. Percentage of my audience is met, percentage of my spends. If the answer is high, well, it's reached. It's alright. And if it's not, there is some way to go.
Shashi, is that true for the people you represent?
Absolutely. I want to build on what Ajay said. I totally agree with what he's saying. There are two aspects to this, and I alluded to this earlier. On one side, what he said, that television does it or radio does it. The fact is, it's so cheap in India. So even if you are doing a wide catchment with a news channel or a television station or whatever it still is effective. So, and it's sure that it's reaching at one shot. That's one side. And the second side is, unfortunately, the way digital medium, digital advertising has grown in India is just a substitute for mass media. Digital by itself, and he gave a nice example, but that's only a limited example. More often than not, digital is display advertising. The power of display in terms of engagement, in terms of which television can't do, to a certain extent radio does, that's not been exploited. So commerce in India, very, very limited. So both factors are working. So a marketing manager will turn around and say, listen, if I have to do mass media, short, an ad on a news channel, sure will get me, and the same eyeballs at a far cheaper rate than a digital thing will. And there's no measurement and there's no metrics in place.
We'll take a break here. When we come back, how ad agencies which have started digital units and bought digital units with a vengeance have performed in handling digital media duties of brands. More when we come back.